Hello，大家好啊！歡迎大家又翻到嚟越洋買定離手啦。啱啱第一集咧度就同大家略略講到啦，關於禮拜六我哋將會睇到嘅杜拜超級星期六賽馬日嘅賽事嘅，重溫一下我哋啱啱咧三寶嘅頭關啊，揀到啲咩馬啦？第7場嘅賽事拉斯奧科爾錦標，我揀到12號烈風狂掃 ，Alistair 中意1號嘅愛星河 ，Steve 就揀到4號嘅協議區，至於 Randy 就揀到3號嘅迪爾拜，阿 Joe 就中意8號嘅榮治殿下。咁喺呢一集裏面咧，都同大家講埋咧三寶嘅次關同埋尾關啦。
So now we're going to go on to race number 8. So this is a longer race, 1,800 meters. This is the Jebel Hadda, sponsored by Airline Emirates. It's a grade 1 race. And Charene, who do we have?
Yeah, I would go for the defending champion, number 10, Lord Glitters. But I just checked about the history of this race. There is no horse that could win it back-to-back. And hopefully this year we can witness Lord Glitter to achieve this. This horse won this race last year, and he had similar preparation this year, showing he is still strong at currently 9-year-old. And last time out, he showed a really great turn of foot in the Single Stakes to win it back to back. And better gates this time, he will jump from gate 6. So hopefully he may stay in a better position. But I won't doubt for his acceleration. He is a really good horse, really honest, with a really strong turn of foot. So hopefully he can just achieve the performance that then we win this race back to back, because we don't see there is any horse that can win it back to back before. So hopefully number 10 Lord Glitters can do it.
I don't know if you've ever seen Lord Glitters, really nice looking gray horse. So yeah, currently in the market in Australia at $2.75. And Alistair, who do we have for this race?
Also number 10 Lord Glitters. He's an absolute crowd favorite. He's an 11-time winner. He's the epitome of, I suppose, world beater, considering he's been all corners of the globe and won in all corners of the globe. He does need things to go right. He needs a pace. He's not going to be in the first half of the field turning for home, but he will be closing in. And I just think that there's a good chance to be the first horse to go back-to-back in the Jebel Hatta. I have respect for the horse that ran second to him in Bahrain last time up, but that's number 2, Barney Roy. But with that said, I thought Lord Glitters quickened away from Roy, as Lord Glitters does. I think that he's the one to beat. He'll be a popular selection for many.
Yeah, definitely. I know he's a big fan favorite, and has been handling the 1,800 well with the last out win in a grade 2. And Steve, who do we have for this race?
Well, more of an each way option, a value option really, and Finest Sound, number 4, drawn 10 under Andrea Zini. Simon and Ed Christopher trained the horse. They're in excellent form in the UK, hoping they can transfer that to the Maidan circuit. 5-year-old son of Exceed and Excel, an excellent record when fresh, actually, overcoming a 240-day absence to win at Haydock on his stable debut. And he was a short ahead second after another significant break later on in his career. He's relatively likely race too. His latest run, a credible third behind Mustadaf, with Barney Roy back in 4th. Barney Roy, of course, then went on to chase Lloyd Glitters home in the Bahrain International. And, of course, Lloyd Glitters winning the Singspiel last month over course and distance. So he's probably got a bit of ground to make up. But he's a nice horse. He's only had 14 runs, Finest Sound. And with Lloyd Glitters 9, Barney Roy 8, he brings a relatively youthful 5-year-old to the mix. So hopefully Finest Sound can run well.
Yeah, out of Exceed and Excel, who has been a big progeny in Australia. So it's always nice to see them head over to Dubai. And Randy, who do we have for this race?
Well, I'm going to take a horse that's been beat by Lord Glitters, and that's Zakowski over there. And if I could bet an Appleby double, if there's such thing as that, I would take it, because he's got 3 and 3, and I like all those horses in the last 2 races. And there's a starter here that I don't think really has a chance. Why is he here? Maybe that's to help the other guy out. This horse seems sharp. He just got back to the track after a short layoff. Second, I like that on the same track. Wasn't crazy about his last race, the trip he had. Been beaten by Lord Glitters, but could this be something to get a little bit of a price? They seem like a fairly even matchup. But yeah, so I'm going to go with Zakowski, the 15.
The 15, Zakowski, who's ran behind Lord Glitters twice, it looks like.
Yeah.
And also in a group 2 and then a group 3. So this is going to be maybe, sometimes that you could turn the tables, and this would probably be the right time. And yeah, I'm also with Steve with number 4, Finest Sound, going behind Real World, who Real World was just in the Saudi Cup, 28th out of 30th in the big hunt race, so in Ascot. So but then after that, turned this form around with a 4th, a 3rd, a 1st, and then a 3rd. So I think the Exceed and Excel horse does have a chance, but it's going to be really tough. I think it's Lord Glitter's race to win. So Charene goes for number 10 to recap. Number 10, Lord Glitters, and also Alistair as well. Number 10, Lord Glitters. Steve and I go for number 4, Finest Sound, and Randy goes for number 15, Zakowski.
三寶次關去到第八場嘅傑貝哈特錦標啊，咁呢一場咧，我哋5位咧揀到嘅馬個範圍都唔係好闊嘅啫。我同埋 Alistair 都係中意10號嘅閃光雀爺 ，Steve 同 Joe 咧就中意4號嘅妙韻，至於 Randy 就係揀到15號嘅俄式前菜。咁大家都可以諗下啦，呢一個嘅三寶次關嗰個範圍會係點啦。
So now we're going to go on to the last race, race number 9. So this is a dirt race over 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs, the Mahab Al Shamal, sponsored by Airline Emirates, and 1,200 meters, kind of a relatively smaller field than normal, or than compared to the other 2 races. And Charene, who do we have?
Yeah, here just a field of 10, and I will go for number 2, Ken Fast. He's quite an honest sprinter, always finishing close, and he actually won this race last year from gates 12, and then he ran 3rd in the Dubai Gold Charene from gates 11. He always drawn wide, but this time finally a good stall for him. He will be jumping from gates 3. Hopefully he can make use of the good draw to stay in a better position. I hope to see him to stay in the front, which will be his best riding tactic. And it is also good to see him like bouncing back a little bit. Last time out, he chased well and finished 2nd. And I believe he's progressing quite well this year. And hopefully he will be able to win this race after 2 warm-ups this year. So I go for number 2, Confessed.
Interesting note about Confessed. This Saturday or this Friday, wherever you are, Zaki, he has form behind Zaki. So Zaki's going to be in I think the Australian Guineas at Flemington. So that's going to be really interesting. And Alistair, who do we have in this race?
So I'm going with number 1, El Tariq. There shouldn't be much between El Tariq and Canvas. They've met each other twice this season. It's 1-1 between them. But I like the way that El Tariq was finishing off last time behind me. He looked like he was still in need of the run. We'll put it like this. It looked like there was bigger fish to fry for El Tariq out of that performance. Pat Dobbs stays on board here for Doug Watson. Doug's obviously got the 2 runners. Andrea Aziz to run. Sheikh Mohammed bin Obeid Al Maktoum, that is his retained job. But I think number 1, El Tariq's just got something left in the tank. I like the way that he started the season. Like I said, he ran and looked last like there were bigger fish to fry. He was anything but disgraced. The weights are in El Tariq's favor as well. He's 1 kilo better off, and there was half a length between them last time out. I do hear what Charene's saying about Canvas having the draw for a change. That has got to be a kicker, and I do have respect for the Doug O'Neill runners. Doug O'Neill's hit the grounding in the UAE. He's obviously a phenomenal trainer. But I just think the awareness and the wherewithal and the know-how about number 1, El Tariq, will get him home.
Yeah, and a favorite in the market in the last couple of times after a spell. So he's been a $2.38 favorite, $3.50 favorite, and $6.50. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see the 2 Doug Watson horses duke it out. And Steve, who do we have here?
Oh, I'm taking a bit of a flyer with Edge to Lap, number 5, drawn 2. I think, as Alistair and Charene have said, it could even be a match between the likes of Al Tariq and Canvas. It's an interesting race, and although Al Tariq's not greatly drawn, there's every chance he'll have enough gate speed to get across there and dominate. But I thought Edge to Lap, Charlie Fellows with James Doyle on board, and there really isn't much to separate half a dozen of these horses. If you look at the Al Shandaga sprint with Canvas, Al Tariq, Freedom Fighter, Edge to Lap, Positivity, who I think has a chance, but it just doesn't seem to be showing a great deal. But I wouldn't be surprised if he bounced back to some sort of form. But yes, I'm just hoping at an attractive price that Edge to the Lab can run well for Charlie Fellows.
Yeah, and it looks like he's been running well, and it seems like after a spell, he starts to get rolling. So he had a win in Newcastle on the all-weather track before in a 3-year-old handicap. So we'll see how he takes the Maidan Dirt here. And Randy, who do we have in this race?
Well, I'm going to go with the horse I know, and that's Freedom Fighter. the 6, ran a gutsy race 2 back and beaten by El Tariq. But if you watch that race, he had trouble in the stretch. I don't know if it was a problem changing leads or something. I didn't look at it close enough like that. But he definitely looked green in the stretch, which was really odd. But it was his first race over there. And El Tariq got a perfect trip. So if you're going to give me this horse at better odds, and this horse is also a horse that ran second to Concert Tour here last year over in California. So I think this is the best of the U.S. horses. I know Doug O'Neill's over there. This isn't a Doug O'Neill horse, but I'm going to go Freedom Fighter, which I know he's there now, but I saw him in the U.S. I'm going Freedom Fighter. I think if he learns how to run and El Tariq doesn't get the perfect trip or everything, it could be more of a race than it was last time. So give me Freedom Fighter, the 6.
Number 6, Freedom Fighter with O'Shea up. And I have a quick question for you, Alistair. O'Shea was tested positive, I know for a meeting. Do you think he should be back for Super Saturdays, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, he rode 2 winners on Thursday night, so he's back. And actually, funny enough, we're all in the same hotel. Up in the lift with him on my way. And just before we did this preview, and I asked Tag, "What's your best on Super Saturday?" He said, "If Freedom Fighter was drawn better, he'd say that would a huge chance. Just a little bit worried about the draw." But Tag's 100% fine. He's all things being equal, he's riding on Super Saturday.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Alistair. Yeah, because it was unfortunate that he tested positive for COVID. So now he's back on board. And as what Alistair said, rode 2 winners. And I'm also on the camp with Charene canvassed as well. That was the only thing that I saw. When I saw that he had form behind Zaki, who was really dominating in Austria, as was dominating. This is going to be his return back. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to the last race. And so to recap, it is Charene and I goes for number 2 Canvas. Alistair goes for number 1 El Tariq. Steve goes for number 5. It's Italb. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing these names. And then number 6 for Randy, Freedom Fighter.
去到尾關啦，亦即係第9場嘅北風錦標，我同埋阿 Joe 都係中意2號嘅拉票，至於 Alistair 就揀到1號嘅10拿9穩 ，Steve 就中意5號嘅倚天力，至於 Randy 就中意6號嘅戰位自由。